Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Low High Podcast. Hope you guys are doing well today. As always, I am 0.5, one half of your host, Marcello.
And I am the other half, Seller.
And we're doing pretty good today. I would say I'm feeling pretty positive. Even though it's super rainy over here in New York. I don't know if the weather's also like that in Philly, dude. Has it just been
rained earlier, but now it's like that kind of weird subsection because it's like 78 degrees, so it's like hot and like sticky kind of.
Bro,
I was outside for maybe like 20 minutes today, came back inside, my underwear was soaked, had to change immediately.
Dude, it is disgusting. Like, I don't have my AC in my apartment yet, and it's just like I feel the air sticking to me as I walk. It's terrible.
Awful, bro. Summer in New York City, I cannot imagine. It's going to be diabolical.
I feel like it has to be the same in like other cities. So, because I love going on walks. I try and do like a walk in the morning and midday. And I like live right by a park, which is sick. Get some fresh air and a little bit of greenery. But it's not that enjoyable when it's too hot in the city, especially with this humidity, because honestly, you just walk outside and it just smells like either piss or shit or vomit. And I'm like just baking in the sun, and it's just disgusting. It takes all of the joy out of my peaceful walk.
No, there's nothing worse than when you're already uncomfortable and then something smells bad.
Just hot garbage piss. Yeah.
Just that shit would just piss me off so bad.
That's terrible.
It was, I think, 3 years ago. I was in the New York subway in like the middle of July. I think that's one of the worst experiences of my life so far.
Dude. The summer, I don't think cities are really meant for the summers. Well, that's not true, because there are some cities that are just in permanently hot climates. But like East Coast cities, winters, fall, much better experience overall.
I think I'd agree with that.
But bro, we were talking about, because we're in our 20s, etc., etc. I heard this cool quote from, I think it's Chris Williamson. He's like a fellow podcaster, super professional podcaster. But he basically said, he said that there's no really good way to live your 20s, because you're kind of doing one of two things. You're either overworked and underlived, or overlived and underworked. And at first I was kind of thinking, how can you be underlived? Is that even really so much a thing? I think he's kind of approaching it with that quote from a little bit later in life, like like in your 30s, etc. You kind of want to be in a position, if you want to have kids, etc., with a career where you can support that, etc. But it's a crazy quote, because it sounded really profound and it sounded like it really should make a lot of sense. But at the same time, I don't feel like I'm doing either of those. Like, I don't think I'm really overworked, and I don't think well, maybe this past week, but like, and I also don't feel like I'm overlived. And I don't know. I don't think I've really struck the balance. But what do you think of that?
It's profound, but I feel like it's not great for the times that we're in, because I feel like a lot of people right now, because it's super difficult to get a job, and it's also super difficult to like do things with your friends. I feel like there's definitely like a very big part, I feel like, properly living in your 20s is community. And I feel like it's very obvious for a lot of people there's a very big lack of community. And there's a lot of people who go online and like, oh, I want community. No, you don't. You want people who you can talk to about your problems, but you don't want to have them talk to you about their problems. Yeah. And I feel like a big part of being in your 20s, especially now, is like figuring things out. And I feel like before, maybe when this person was younger, there wasn't as big as a focus on figuring things out. People would figure things out in their 20s. People would get married, they'd get the house, they'd like kind of live their life, but then they'd end up being, regretful. I talked to somebody who wasn't, I can't even remember what this person was, but this person was like 45. We were just talking about life. And they were married. And I was like, oh, did you get married young? She was like, oh, hell no. I got married like a couple years ago. And I'm like, really?
Damn.
which was like a little bit surprising for me. She's like, basically everybody I know who got married in their 20s is divorced now. And I'm like, wow. I feel like that has more to do with the people you associate with than marriage, but it was a little bit crazy. It was a little bit crazy to hear. The thing is that being underlived is like, I feel like that's gonna really depend on your definition of living, because what does it mean to live life? For me, it's like, oh, I want to go to new places. I want to do new things. I want to like expand my perspective. But for some people, living is going to the club every like 3 times a week, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're in the club. Every time I've ever been to a club or an event on a Sunday and it's like packed, it's like, it's always been a little bit strange to me, because it's like, because it's not like everybody's unemployed. These are people who have work in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way that they're living their lives. And I've got no choice but to respect it. So I think it's profound.
No choice.
I've gotten no choice. I think it's profound, but I don't know if it's going to apply to everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I feel similar to you. Like, I feel like there's a few holes in it. And also too, like, cause it's just how different strokes for different folks for a golf term. I don't golf, but it's just a good term. Like, dude, yeah, some people, like you said, they want to go tear up the club with their friends or without their friends. Some people really dig into like the work hard, play hard mentality. I think it's really important though I think it's really important just to make sure that you give yourself time to unwind. It just depends, dude, because some people love their job, some people hate their job, some people, like you said, like, you know, what does living really mean to you? I think for me, it's like, it's kind of strange graduating college, especially because we kind of graduated around COVID. Like, we were kind of impacted by COVID, and we're also kind of impacted with tech, you know, like just the online aspect of living or like kind of growing up, where normally we're able to keep in touch with a lot of people that we wouldn't if this tech didn't exist. Like, if the internet wasn't a thing, like, we probably wouldn't really be talking unless we lived in the same freaking neighborhood. And I think that because of that, like, people are less inclined to all live in the same place because they know they can kind of keep in touch good enough no matter where they go. And like you said, the market's kind of tough. So like, I feel like when we graduated, dude, our friends kind of went everywhere. And that is a big bummer, because you go from being like just having constant access to all of your friends in such a social setting to just working and figuring it out and like trying to see your friends as frequent as you can. And it's like impossible for everyone to schedule something in the same day.
It's crazy, because it's definitely, because for example, there's people, that you don't really have them on social media, and you're like, wondering how they're doing, and somebody's like, they got married, and it's like, what?
Yeah, the hell?
But like, we're at the best time to like try and reconnect with people, because can you imagine you went to college in like 1987 and you didn't get to see anybody until like the early or mid 2000s?
Yeah.
Because you just don't know where they went.
Dude, a girl I met studying abroad, we were just like, when we were doing the study abroad program, we were just like super buddies. Awesome. Loved her to death. Loved me to death. Super sick. She just like, when she graduated, she was like, that's it, dude. Just so you know, I'm like changing my phone number and I'm moving to Germany. I was like, what? And she did it. And I haven't, I think she dumped like everything.
Wow.
Really fresh start. The only connection I have with her is like, we're friends on Spotify, so I see like what she listens to. Other than that, absolute zero. But I'm pretty confident that at some point later in life, I'm just gonna like run into her and we'll have a big catch up, or that's what I'm hoping. Some sort of like movie scene like that happens. Mm-hmm. But that's how it was for everybody back then.
It's crazy to think about, because even when people hit me up now, it's still kind of surreal. Because like, I don't really think about high school or anything like that very often, but I had this friend in high school. She ended up moving to, I think, Japan. And I got a message from her on WhatsApp at the beginning of the year. She's like, "Oh, Sally, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Who is this?" She's like, "It's me." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're like alive?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm moving to New York." And I'm like, "What?"
Like, who even are you anymore?
And that's the thing. You can't even like imagine how much they've changed as a person. And like I guess some people find like a sense of anxiety about that. Like, oh, how have they changed? I hope they're not a psychopath. It's like that one SNL sketch where like, oh, you're reconnecting with your middle school best friend and they're just absolutely insane right now and they can't be within 15 yards of a school.
No, pass on that.
See? So and I don't know. That's a thing about reconnecting with people. Like there's certain people that you really want to reconnect with. Like I got really lucky. I was in California 2 years ago, and I got to see like one of my best friends from high school. I was really happy that like the dynamic didn't really change at all. He was like he's doing really well, and it's very it's very comforting for me personally to know that the people I cared about like back then are like living good lives.
Dude, it's so important. I feel like also it's a mark of a really good friendship if like so much time can pass and once you guys, you get to like catch up a little bit, it just feels like no time has passed at all. That's the best.
But also at the same time, it's kind of weird on the opposite end. It's kind of weird seeing somebody you kind of hate or somebody suggests hanging out with somebody you kind of hate. Because though I was in New York and my friend was like, oh, do you remember her? I'm not gonna say her name. Like, do you remember her from high school? I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, do you want to go get lunch with both of us? And I didn't want to be like, no, I hope she kills herself. But it's weird because I feel like when you're in that situation, you kind of play out the conversation in your head. At least I do. And you're like, okay, has enough time passed for me to be civil with this person, or am I just gonna activate full haterade? You know what I'm saying?
Just activate the haterade, dude. Activate.
Because I know people who have like kept incredibly like long-standing grudges, and it's like you haven't seen this person in 10 years, but you're still letting them have this like level of effect on your life. And don't get me wrong, I'm a very big believer in holding grudges. I think you should hold a grudge for a certain amount of time, hate that thing or person to the maximum amount, and then let it go.
And then let it go.
Because especially if you're like not gonna see that person again, like what's the point?
I personally am not into grudges, but I'm also really empathetic, so that usually backfires on me.
Hey, you're healthy and well adjusted.
I guess. No, but the grudges, I just can't do it, bro. I can't do grudges.
I understand. Like the thing about holding a grudge is kind of like you're poisoning yourself and like you're hoping the other person is gonna die.
Yeah, it's exactly like drinking the poison. You guys both drink the poison and you hope the other one dies.
And it's like, see, I feel like the only good way, this is in my opinion, the only good way to hold a grudge. You gotta you need to know if you're like if you're in that person's vicinity, like often, you gotta make it clear, like not constantly, but just one time you gotta be like, yo, I hate you. You guys gotta let it out. You gotta let them know. Because hating somebody and them not knowing they hate you, that's weird. You're just plotting on them for no reason. They're living rent free in your head. See, but as soon as they know that you hate them, it can become a two-way street.
Totally.
You can either like grow and like work through the problem, or you can have like a kind of mutual hatred, what makes it okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun. Can be fun for you and everybody involved. You like, it's very cathartic.
You can plot on each other like spy versus spy. You can put like little cartoonish stink bombs in their locker, that kind of stuff.
Just put bear traps in there.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that would be crazy. No, yeah, it is good. I think it's also like something that people do a lot, and I dislike is not. I understand. It's like when people talk shit behind people's backs, exclusively behind their backs, though, and they're super nice in person. I don't understand. It's kind of weird because, like you said, it's like hating on this person. You're plotting against them for no reason. Like, at least give them a chance to defend themselves. But we just don't like. We don't like saying things that make other people uncomfortable. It's kind of lame.
It's weird to me. It's weird because I feel like I'd never say something about somebody that I wouldn't be willing to tell them. And
for sure,
I've heard people, and the things I know several people in my life who have said things to me about people that they still hang out with to this day. And sometimes when I'm in the same room with them, I'm like, do you even know how weird this person is towards you?
It's so crazy, dude. Because then it's unresolved. And when there's this unresolved, first off, unresolved stuff's bad for your health typically. Like, bro, you got to just let that shit go. You got to air it out. Gotta air it out.
And I feel like the people who I hate the most are the people who talk shit behind their back, and you're like, yo, why don't you just talk to this person about this? And they're like, oh, I don't really like confrontation. A non-confrontational person, that's the most dangerous kind of person to have in your life. That's a person who will kill you in your sleep.
Yeah, exactly.
No, my sister or some of my brother, one of my siblings, they had a friend who, like, they went to college somewhere pretty cold. So it was my brother. He went to college in Penn State. And she had a space heater that only affected like one side of their room. But the roommate didn't like that she had a space heater. So what she did, instead of talking to her about it, she stole the space heater and hid it somewhere.
I would so much rather someone just say, I don't like you, instead of freeze my ass off looking for a fucking space heater.
That's like some psychopathic shit to do. And when they confronted her about it, she was like, they're like, why did you do this? She literally said, oh, I just don't really like confrontation. Like, bro, this kind of people, keep them away from me.
Keep them out.
Please.
Keep them out. Nah, dude, and I feel like, too, it encourages bad behavior in a sense.
Like, I was very afraid of confrontation when I was younger because I really didn't want to hurt anybody.
Spooky, yeah.
And the thing is that, like, especially when you're like in boarding school in Nigeria, being afraid of confrontation doesn't help you avoid confrontation. It just makes people think, oh yeah, I can fuck with this guy and nothing's gonna happen. And like, the thing is, like, it's so crazy to me because I kind of took that attitude into college. Because somebody, like, I was in Marist for pre-college, somebody like actually like attacked me for like no reason. Oh. And he gave this speech. He's like, oh, if just because you're big, you can't mess with me. And I was like, in that moment, I was thinking to myself, should I just like step on this dude's throat right now?
Just lay him out.
But in my head, I'm like, bro, my parents are paying money to send me to school in America. I have like way too much to lose. And I got lucky because like, but then after that, I was like, bro, you need to realize that this shit is not okay. And it's weird because this guy kept trying to like hang out with me as friends.
That's weird, dude.
And it's like, bro, that's like, do you understand how weird you are for that?
That's a thing. Well, first off, fuck that kid. But that's also a thing. I think this kind of happened to me too. In like high school, some kids, like, they would kind of just like they would be like dicks to you in like a really unlikable way, and then as a way to try and be like your friend.
And it's like, bro, like, how are you, like, bro, whenever I see somebody acting like that, I just instantly assume that their home life is not good.
Yeah, dude, I mean, that's the other part of it too, especially with the kids, or like just the younger you are, like the more it's pretty obvious now, like as an adult. Yeah, dude, when people are acting out like that, like their home life is just not good. And it's really sad, actually.
Because I never thought I'd grow up to be a who raised you kind of person, but low-key, that's who I'm turning into. Because it's like, bro, like, do you understand? Because people who are like, oh, because I don't know if you've seen all the interactions online where, oh, it costs nothing to be kind, and people are like, okay, it also costs nothing to be an asshole. But it does cost something to be an asshole, because you're losing out on potential friendships. You're losing out on people thinking, oh, you can rely on you. Like, bro, do you understand that, like, there's people who I know who are assholes? And I'm like, bro, I don't bring them around anybody else I know or respect, because why would I want to like, bro, I know how you act. Why would I want to introduce you to my parents or my family or my friends?
It's fair. It's very fair. Very, very fair. Yeah, dude, I think we should, like you said in the past episode, like, just put your best foot forward in everything you do. And like, just don't be a dick. Just try and be a nice person. But at the same time, you can't let people walk. It is a hard balance sometimes. Like, you can't let people walk all over you.
No, definitely not.
But it's important to be honest. It's just important to be like, I think nowadays, just being an actual genuine person, whether it's a likable trait or not, it's not that common. People really are just like it. I know this for a fact because some of my friends and like they're not the most pleasant people to be around. Like, they're kind of, I don't want to say like high maintenance, but they're like particular and they don't budge on shit. And that makes doing things like just confrontational sometimes. But because they're so genuine, you're like, oh damn. You know, I know this person's never really gonna like lie to me. Like they say it how they see it.
True. That's the thing.
I respect it. You're kind of like that, dude. You say it how you see it.
Yeah, but like I used to be like kind of an asshole. I'm trying to grow out of it.
I think that's a balance. You gotta be a little bit of an asshole.
Like it's weird because especially like because for me, I feel like I kind of grew out of it the first time somebody was like, "Hey, what you said really hurt my feelings." And if somebody, because the thing is that like sometimes people aren't intending to hurt your feelings, and that's why when people hurt your feelings, you gotta let them know. Because somebody was like, because when somebody is like, "Oh, did I hurt your feelings?" and then you say something to them that hurts their feelings, and they start being like, "Oh, why would you say that?" Blah blah blah. That's how you see. That's how you know that's a person that you can't reason with.
They just double down on the open wound. Literally.
And it's like, bro, especially now as an adult, like, bro, everybody's gone to college, everybody's 25. If you're like still acting that way as like a grown ass adult, like, bro, you're probably like, respectfully, I don't need that energy around me, bro.
Yeah, that's kind of cucked.
Dude, no. And it's weird the way people like act, especially around like, oh God, nah. I'm just trying, like, there's so many examples I've like seen like the past year and a half of like legitimate weirdo behavior. And it's like, oh yeah, I don't really like my friend's boyfriend being around. So what I do is I ask her if she's down for threesomes every time he leaves. And I'm like, do you understand that you sound insane?
No. She is insane. That's insane, dude.
Like what? Because, bro, you pay rent in this apartment. You can just be like, yo, I'm not really comfortable with you having your boyfriend around so much. Maybe go to his place sometimes.
Yeah.
But no, this is what you decided to say? This is how you decided to solve the issue?
See, I can also guarantee that person just has way too much free time. Because that's like, you have to plot that out. You're fucking thinking about that. She ran that by some people.
Like, have you ever like seen somebody like do something and you're like, that's not an employed decision. That's not something someone.
That's not an employed decision.
That is not something someone with a job would do.
Yeah, 100%. It's like, dude, all that. I don't want to say it's like pointless because it is entertaining. Like, bro. Anything, you know, like any reality TV shows are perfect. So like the Kardashians, if that's real life for them, it's like amazing to me. But bro, yeah, some people they got too much time. Oh boy,
I feel. Would you ever go on one of those reality TV shows, like one of those dating shows like Love Island or what? Not Singles Inferno. Singles Inferno is like Korean or something.
Dated and Related.
Dated and Related is such, oh my God, I watched that in my friend's basement with like his younger sister like 2 years ago, and she was like loving every minute of it. And I'm like, bro, your brother is upstairs. Do you think that if he acted like this with you trying to date somebody, that would not be strange?
Bro,
no, I remember this one like part of Dated and Related where like they're all interviewing with the brother to see who can date his sister, and while one of the dudes is running up, he falls down, and I could just see it in the brother's face. They're kind of like, oh my God, this dude is not getting it, and it's crazy because like imagine, because he seemed like a really nice guy, but imagine your brother saw a man fall down and he's like, yeah, no, you can't date my sister, bro. Like, have you never fallen down, bro? Has gravity always been on your side?
Gravity has nothing on him. He's immune to it.
Apparently.
Well, let me ask you first. Would you want to go on like one of those dating shows? Would you be interested?
Absolutely not. I watched this show on Netflix once called Unreal, and after watching that, for me, it's like, if you're even gonna be everybody involved in producing reality TV, that's not the kind of person I want to be around.
Yeah. For real. But okay, I mean, like, it would be so fun though, in a sense, like, because you could act like whatever you want, like, you just, you know.
No, that's the thing. Like, here's what I think I'd do. I would give them I'd give one really good first episode, and then do my best to get kicked off immediately.
Yeah, with every kickoff attempt, you'll just be going up in the rankings, though, bro. Like that.
No, I'd hate that.
You would crush that. You would crush one of those shows.
Do people actually even go on those shows to actually find love, or is it just for exposure? Because for me personally,
yeah, a lot of it's for exposure.
Because me personally, if I see a girl, I'm like, okay, this girl is attractive. They're like, okay, cool. You need to compete with these 20 other men on live TV. It's like, bro, I'm already 1v20ing in dating in real life. I feel like doing that on camera is just a little bit too much.
I would rather just like, honestly, if that's what it came to, just fucking put me in a ring and I'll just fight to the death. And like, that's how I'd rather settle it.
Like, bro, let's fight them. Let's have like a Mario Kart tournament or something. Let's keep it simple.
That's way better than Gladiator style. Oh my god. Speaking of, okay, I'm just curious your opinion, dude. Did you come to a decision on 100 men versus one gorilla?
Oh my god, yes, I did.
Let's hear it.
Okay, but there's caveats.
I'm
First
ready.
of all, I believe the 100 men would win.
Wait. Can we just say, like, as a disclaimer, like, do you agree that depending on the group of people and the gorilla, like, there are different outcomes to this?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go. I'm ready to hear it.
Okay, so if you have 100 men, right, who they don't care about loss of life or limb, and they're coordinated and they're all attacking the gorilla at exactly the same time, eventually the gorilla is gonna get tired. Now, I think at least 20 of them are going to die. No questions asked.
That's crazy.
Because in this scenario, this is like a semi-enclosed space. The gorilla can't really run away anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's also not going to be in the jungle, so nobody really has a home field advantage.
Yeah. No weapons. No weapons. Hands.
Just hands only. If you just keep throwing enough bodies at this gorilla, eventually it's just going to get exhausted and people will be able to finish it off. But like I said, if it's like in like an open space, if like it's just the average person, because bro, the average person, when they see what the gorilla does to the first 3 guys, it's done. Because bro,
let me out of here.
Can you imagine you as a person? You go into the fight, you're at least like a mini like levels of confidence. You see the gorilla swing its arm one time, and you see this dude's rib cage fly out of his ass.
Bro, as soon as that, honestly, if it was me, if I was drafted in the gorilla Hunger Games, fucking, bro, as soon as it beats its chest and roars, I'm walking the fuck out. Are you kidding me? Yeah, like you said, bro, that's gonna be like Omni-Man. It's not even a fight. People going up to that shit be like, what the fuck? What the
No,
fuck?
because I'm immediately gonna be like, yo, what am I doing here, bro? Nah, I'll be like, nah, call it off. Let me out right now.
Ah, dude. But like, here's my thing. The only way that the people win is through endurance. It has to just be, unfortunately, a series of sacrifices with the goal of exhaustion on the gorilla's end. But then I'm also thinking, because realistically, only so many people, like a maximum of 10 people at a time, can attack the gorilla at once. Otherwise, you're just going to be getting in each other's way.
Well, for sure.
But here's my thing. I kind of looked into it, dude. Gorillas different from bears, but similar to bears. Did you know if you don't have a high enough caliber round, you can shoot a bear in the fucking head and it's gonna still be fine? I'm serious. You can put a piece of lead, if it's not 45 calibers or higher, between a bear's eyes, and it will still be A-O-fucking-K.
No,
I'm being dead ass right there. You can look into it, and that scares the shit out of me. A gorilla.
Imagine. Because bro, any kind of bullet can kill a person. Aside from, I guess, birdshot or something, maybe?
Nah, it hit you in the right place. You're dead.
You're dead. You're gone. If I shoot something right in the head and it just keeps coming at me,
just looks at you,
I'm just gonna accept it. I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Just take me now. I'm gone.
What else are you gonna do? Over. Dude, I don't think a person could punch a gorilla to death. No matter what. That's my thing. I don't think with my bear... I don't think they could barehand it.
Like maybe, like at best, they could choke it out. or like suffocated.
They got thick necks, bro. Like, I don't know. Like, I think this is it's very morbid, and this is very macabre. I don't know if macabre is the right word, but this is very morbid. I honestly think, but I don't know if this breaks the no weapons rule. I think that people need to sacrifice a person and use their bones as weapons.
Oh, for sure. Like, what I'm thinking is that after like the first couple people die, you literally like you just gotta pick them off, bro. You just gotta turn them into an arsenal immediately, bro. Like, you know, like the opening of Deadpool 3 where he's like throwing Wolverine's skeleton and like the TVA guys. It's basically gotta be like that.
Dude, I'm laughing because you agreed so quickly with something so fucked up.
It's insane. Don't get me wrong. Morally, it's reprehensible.
No, bro,
but bro,
you
that's it. But once you're there, once you're in the field and the gorilla is coming at you, you're gonna have to make tough choices.
Get in the worm, so that we need you making our decisions.
Bro, yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. Because here's the thing. In my scenario, I'm like, okay, maybe if we got 100, like maybe 20 people are dying. So we got like 80 to 75 people. Maybe if they all punch the gorilla in the exact same spot multiple times, then maybe, just maybe. But off rip, a regular human, regular hands, bro, you're not doing damage to that gorilla, bro. Like that man, bro. No, can you imagine that? Like, oh, because if you were in the jungle fighting the gorilla, imagine 10 people die, the gorilla just disappears. You can hear it in the trees. Your paranoia is growing. Then it just starts picking y'all off one by one.
Yeah. Dude, see, like a part of me, I don't think this is ever going to happen. I don't ever want to, like, that would be the most inhumane thing for someone to actually make this 100 men versus gorilla thing happen. And also one of the dumbest. It's just something we need to run a simulation on instead of like act out in real life.
See, but the Romans, they would have made this happen.
The Romans, dude, they've definitely, yeah, if they had gorillas back in the Colosseum, that shit happened. They had people fucking fighting tigers.
No, bro, the Colosseum is still such a crazy concept to me. Because like people are like, oh, it's like sports. But it's like, bro, it's not like sports, bro. You're drunk off wine at like 9 a.m. on a Tuesday and you're watching a man fight like 3 lions. Like, you know he's not gonna win that, but you're there anyway.
It's a bloodbath. People used to go to public executions for fun.
And that's some crazy shit. Can you imagine how bored you have to be? Like, bro, couldn't you like paint a picture? Couldn't you like dedicate your life to the sword or something?
I'm just tired of watching this grass grow today. I'm gonna go watch someone get their fucking head chopped off.
Bruh.
What the hell?
Like, I feel like it's always like, this is an idea that's always been like funny to me. Like, you know when like Jesus got executed, right? Like, he got crucified.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there were people who didn't know Jesus as like a prophet or something. To them, he was just like the local carpenter.
Yeah, again, crucified.
So they're like, yo, they're killing the carpenter. They're like, what?
Yeah,
why?
What's this guy do? Made a bad table. Damn, I just got a year in hell for that. No, I'm sorry.
They're like, damn. That's like a badly made cross, bro. He's a carpenter. He
didn't fix it on his way up.
Crazy as hell. So what do you think in the 100 men versus gorilla debate? If they can't make the bone weapons, do you think like the gorilla is just gonna like die of exhaustion, or like what routes can they take?
Dude, it would have to be exhaustion and suffocation. I think you did nail it on the head. I don't think you could punch it to death. I just do not think you could punch a gorilla to death. You definitely can't punch it in the head, and it's like they're still actual primal animals. Like, there's a huge difference. Maybe our ancestors, maybe if you go back to like when we were pretty much still Neanderthals, potentially, maybe 100 of those guys, probably less than 100 of those guys had a chance. But fucking kidding me? We've pretty much evolved to just sit and lounge around and like look at screens nowadays. Like, I'm not gonna make it against a gorilla.
Bro, I'm on Google right now, and it said a silverback gorilla can punch with a force of between 1,300 and 2,700 pounds per square inch.
Bro, dude, it's like it would look like an Omni-Man fight. Like there are going to be so many one-shots that happen, and people forget gorillas have huge fucking teeth, like fangs. Like they could rip and tear. King Kong for a reason. I'm telling you.
Bro, I'm looking at this picture. I'm gonna send it to you right now of a gorilla about. See, the thing about gorillas, right, to me, is that they're unintentionally so funny because
they're goofy. Yeah.
No, like look at what I'm about to send you. Can you imagine that you're about to die? This is literally the last thing you see, bro. Like, look at his face, bro. Like, he looks like he's just dealing with a minor inconvenience.
They're so goofy looking, dude. And they're just kind of cute, too. Like, and they got just big butts and do weird things, yeah.
Like, why would I want to fight a gorilla, bro? That man isn't, like, that's the thing. Gorillas aren't looking for problems with humans, bro. Why would we go looking for...
Yeah, I'm trying to chill with the gorilla, not fight it.
Like, bro, did you see, bro, you saw those Planet of the Apes movies, bro. Can you imagine... if Draco Malfoy had just been a chill guy in those movies instead of constantly shocking that gorilla, things would have been fine for everybody.
And like, I could never dishonor Harambe.
Never.
Trying to take one of his own. Hell no.
Bro, his legacy, he went out saving lives. See, now 100 gorillas versus the kid who led to the death of Harambe. Now that's something...
You want to see 100 gorillas versus one person?
Because in my mind, right, what's gonna happen is that they're gonna see him and they're all gonna rush him at once, but they're gonna see Harambe's spirit in the background, like it's a fucking Naruto character or something, and he's gonna be like, no, and then they'll make him one of them.
Yes,
this is an ideal scenario. This whole, you know what I was thinking about though a lot in the whole, like, because of this whole gorilla debate, I was thinking of Tarzan.
Yeah.
And like, it's Tarzan as a concept is legitimately so insane to me. Because it's a white dude with dreadlocks who's just in the jungle, regularly fighting animals. Because can you imagine being like the first local to see Tarzan and try to explain it to all the other African people, like, yo, listen to me. I saw this guy fight a gorilla. They're like, oh, no, which tribe is he from? Like, no. He was white and he had dreads. Can you imagine how people are going to look at you and like, and what was he doing? He fought a gorilla. Did he die? No, he won.
He won?
They're like, but what are you talking about right now?
I don't even know what to say. If I saw a truly feral person,
like bro, I'd just run away.
Yeah, because like I try to talk and it wouldn't get it.
Like, you try talking to him and he's like, ooh. I'm getting out of there immediately.
Yeah, exactly.
What I like about like the story of Tarzan, like in the other like media at least, is that like people find him and then he just kind of goes back to Britain and inherits a gigantic fortune from his family.
Shit. Yeah, it's like so stupid, dude. Like,
bro,
leave him in the jungle.
Like, bro, like, what do you mean this dude went from the literal jungle to being a member of high society?
Dude, that's what happens when you're white and wear dreads.
Like, bro, I'm fucking dead, bro.
Like, yo, did you watch Thunderbolts, New Avengers?
I did watch Thunderbolts. Did you watch it?
I haven't yet, but I'm beelining into the movies this weekend because I have to see it. It's actually good, right?
I was like kind of surprised. Now, don't get me wrong. People are like, oh yeah, this is the best MCU movie since Endgame. That is not a high bar to clear at all. Respectfully, I think that overall, like, MCU movies have been fine. Because I feel like after Endgame, people were like acting like, and the MCU movies before Endgame were like great. And it's like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Like, bro, have you ever seen Iron Man 2, bro? Or Iron Man 3? Those are like some of the most just okay movies of all time. Iron Man 2, I really like the action though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that scene where they're like fighting in like the terrarium or whatever.
Sick.
I recently learned that it was directed by the guy who made Samurai Jack, and I was like, so that's why it's so good.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
Oh, it's really, really solid action. Apparently, in the next Spider-Man movie, the choreography is gonna be done by the dude who did the choreography, like the fight choreography, for the Shang-Chi movie. So I'm really excited about that.
Okay, that's like a slept-on Marvel movie in my opinion because it's so good.
No, it's crazy to me that they did that movie like how many years ago? Like what, 4 years ago, and they just never mentioned him again since.
Yeah, like it was really, really good.
It was quite good. There's some dude, my friend, he kept saying, when Shang-Chi came out, he kept looking at me, he said, Sele, this is my Black Panther. And I'm like, would you fucking stop that? No, the craziest thing, bro, this same friend, he said, okay, he looked me right in the eye, he said, name 10 Asian superheroes who don't have kung fu powers. And that and I was like, I just had to look at him because I could not.
I can't either. I'm sorry. I know they exist.
Like they have to be somewhere, right?
Yeah, they're somewhere.
Okay, let me tell you some crazy shit. There was this, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you've heard of like Black Lightning.
Yeah.
So have you ever heard the original story for what the character was meant to be?
No.
So originally, he was meant to be called the Black Bomber.
Doesn't sound.
And what happened is that the Black Bomber was a racist white guy who would transform into a black superhero while he was under stress.
Dude.
Bro, like,
That is so fucking stupid. Why is that a superpower?
Bro, that's so psychotic because I really wish I could see, like, thank God they never ended up going with that idea, but it's like, what was going on in that room? They're like, he gets stressed. Okay, so what happens? He turns black.
Dude, I'm back when that was written. That would just make it more stressful to be alive.
Bro, literally though, they're like, it's the kind of thing where when I think about it, like, it's funny now because obviously they never, like, they were like, yeah, this is a bad idea, let's not do this. But like, what if they did though? Like some other universe out there, some other timeline, they were like, yo, this is what the people need to see. But yeah, overall, with everything we've discussed today, man versus gorilla, man versus baby oil, I think it's important.
You are so unserious.
I'm sorry. As we have this chance, this opportunity, we just want to use our platform to remind you that, yes, it costs nothing to be a dickhead, except, friends and respect and love. It truly does cost nothing to be kind. And we here at Lohai want to remind you that it's your choices who make you who you are. And that you can always make the choice to be better, to be kind, and to fight a gorilla. So we just wanted to remind you that if you're feeling high,
and if you're feeling low, you've always got a place to go.
Thank you so much for joining us.